Welcome back to another episode of I Never Liked You with Matteo Lane and Nick Smith. And today we're finally talking Wicked.
The Lion King.
Yeah. So you could just bring it closer to you.
Can bring it closer.
Nick is.
We're both dressed as Glinda unintentionally because neither of us brought green.
Yeah, I didn't because I actually was going to bring a green shirt. And
I don't even own a green shirt.
Oh, I have a couple green shirts.
Well, you should have brought them.
Okay, so Wicked. Now, starting with...
We have many thoughts.
I have many thoughts. So I went and saw it with Amina Imani, Marie Faustin, and Sydney Washington. Amina, I got there on time. Marie and Sydney got there late. Marie sat next to me. Sydney fell asleep. She was in a full REM, and she was like in a fetal position. Amina didn't know it was part one, even though it's been advertised for about 9 months that it's part one.
And the story's
no, they didn't. They didn't advertise it as part one.
Oh yes, they did.
Yes,
Really?
What are you talking about?
Like
I didn't know that.
maybe that's just the gays who know that.
No, they have been saying
Well, to
that
me,
it's 2 parts.
I didn't know that.
Oh, because when it ended, just and
To
then
be
Amina was
continued.
like, "What the hell?" She was like, "What? We just started cooking." I was like, "Amina, we've been here for like 4 hours." Me and Marie couldn't get over Dr. Dillerman when he was in a suit, and then he like somehow changed into a sweater, and then he was like
made tea at one
yeah,
point.
he's like, "Do you want some tea?" And like, so me and Marie kept doing this with each other. But I thought,
my favorite, the one part where like the vase of flowers broke, and he was like, "Don't worry about it, Elphaba. I'll get it." How? How would you have gotten that?
I didn't know that was Peter Dinklage. I was like,
What?
why? I'm like, why do I know that voice? And then Marie's like, it's Peter Dinklage. I'm like, oh, I thought it was Game of Thrones. Anyway, I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's a great movie.
Cynthia was
I've
amazing.
Seen it twice.
Ariana
Cynthia
was
was amazing. Ariana was really great, although
Bowen was fantastic. And I texted Bowen.
Bowen
I
did
said, I
very
know I'm a little
well.
late to the game, but I thought you were amazing and Wicked. And he was like, thank you.
I thought it was a very well-made movie.
And I thought it was just like the play.
I thought they really
Because
stuck
let me say
to
something
it.
very controversial. I love Idina Menzel, but I've not had good experiences with her live performances, and her Defying Gravity is difficult to go back to. We also kept making a joke at the Tony Awards when she was like, Bob was like, we should play this, where she was like, it's the wizard who should be afraid of me. Like, it was just so dramatic.
I mean, I've said this before. To me, the ultimate Glinda, I think Ariana did a great job. The ultimate Glinda, though, is Kristen Chenoweth. Still to this day, it fits her voice so specifically and perfectly. And there's been other good ones, but like no one, in my opinion, has done it better than her. Whereas Idina, I think she did really well. But we've seen so many, in my opinion.
So if you can't find me,
in my
look
opinion,
to the western sky.
We've seen so many better versions
Well,
of
I
Elphaba.
saw the original Elphaba, Stephanie J. Block. People don't know this, but Stephanie J. Block was in all the workshops with Kristen Chenoweth and Steven Schwartz from day one. She worked all the way. So every single song was written for Stephanie J. Block. And then the last minute she was cut and they gave it to Idina Menzel because Idina was more famous. So Stephanie was the very first Wicked tour, like of the national tour. So I saw Stephanie in like 2008. And in Chicago.
L.A. she did, right?
She did L.A. She also did on Broadway for a bit, I think, after. Anyhow, so I saw the real Elphaba. And it's when you watch Stephanie J. Block do Defying Gravity, you're like, holy shit. Like, this was written for... And she still does... She recently did an article. She was like, it's very bittersweet about Wicked because it was something that was so close to me and it got ripped away from me.
She said in part 2, it wasn't in part 1, the movie, but in act 2... I'm Not That Girl, no, it is in part 1. I'm Not That Girl is her favorite Elphaba song to sing because she was like, after everything happened, it meant more to her because she wasn't that girl.
Right. Now, Idina's fine, although she just, every time it gets to a high, I've never heard her hit a high note successfully, ever. She's never hit the end of the Frozen note.
That's the problem is... So now, but that's what I mean. Like Cynthia sings it.
Oh, Cynthia Erivo
so
is unbelievable.
Unreal and effortlessly. But Kristen, to me, is still the blueprint.
See, I don't disagree with it, but I think Ariana Grande did A++.
I think she did a great job. I do think she was doing a bit of a Kristen impression throughout.
I think it was an homage.
Fair. But I still don't think that she sounded as good as Kristen. I don't think anyone has. Not that I'm saying that anyone's been not good. I think they've been good. To me, her voice, so few people can sound operatic and belty and all of that incredibly well, and she's one of those.
Yeah,
comedic timing.
I disagree. Now, I think that she's obviously not an opera singer. I think she did what we would call like faux opera, but it sounded good. I love the high F was great, but I think that
she trained in opera.
But I think Ariana Grande did something that was really difficult and subtle. Is she had to like that opening scene when there no one mourns the wicked, and she is like trying to be happy, but realizing like the shit that she got herself through. I think Ariana Grande was phenomenal.
Acts it incredibly well. Now, I will say a lot of people have not particularly liked Michelle Yeoh in it.
I loved Michelle Yeoh.
I loved her, and here's why. And we talked about this in Mexico. I viewed it as different than the Broadway version because they really did split the Madame Morrible in Broadway into two roles between her and
that
Keela
woman
Settle.
With the curly, yeah, who was like,
I'll
bring her to her room.
The Michelle Yeoh one isn't this like high camp, draggy Broadway version. She was more just like the villain, which she plays villain incredibly well. When she turns, when the monkeys are going crazy, and she has that, it's so good. If she meant, if she was meant to be just like the Broadway version, no, she wouldn't have done well. But they made it.
Here's something we disagree on. We really disagree on this. I loved Jeff Goldblum. Speak your actual mind, Nick. Don't try and.
When have I ever not? All I'm saying is he did fine. He didn't do it for me. I would have loved to see someone else. I just think Jeff Goldblum plays Jeff Goldblum instead of playing the character. I would have loved to see.
And we found out that Nick's only seen one other Jeff Goldblum movie.
That is not true. I've seen at least 3, but regardless, to me, he's just fine. I would have loved to see someone else play not just themselves. I don't know who that would be. Maybe a Stanley Tucci, or who's the guy that won the Tony for Hadestown?
Who?
Who's the guy that won the Tony for Hadestown? He was like the narrator. I don't know. He would have been amazing.
Well, I think that I could have
played
the wizard. Let's do a part where I'm the wizard, okay?
You don't have the power to read this.
Well, not now. But I studied with Luigi. I studied with
Mangione?
No. Oh, he's a wonderful friend of mine. I had tea with him the other day. There was so much security, but no, me and Charles Ashnavach learned a couple of the phrases. So I'll sing some for you now.
Lia Deputy
and Kastna Uda.
This is a hot take.
Wait, Nick, what was that movie again? You said the guy.
Hadestown, the musical on Broadway. He won the Tony.
Elikanan atu Elikanaman Elika. Elika, what is it chanting? I don't even know what I mean. I don't know what trick I ought to try.
Missing out on a show that everyone is talking about isn't an option for me. I'm constantly signing up for this streaming service or that one, and then a few months later, I realize I'm still paying for the service long after I finished the show. Getting Rocket Money was a game changer for me. They'll find your unwanted subscriptions and even help you cancel them, so you never have to worry about them slipping through the cracks. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service so you don't have to. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/INeverLikedYou today. That's rocketmoney.com/INeverLikedYou. rocketmoney.com/INeverLikedYou. Hot take.
Yes.
I love Kristen and Idina, and I do think that they deserved a cameo. It was the only part of the movie that I genuinely was like, they should have cut this. It didn't do it for me. I didn't like the song.
I
It took me
liked
out of the
it.
movie. I would have much preferred just see them as two professors at the school with a quick 5-second, hello, dear, cameo. And that's all I need. It would give them a nod. That's all I needed.
No,
I didn't
I
need this whole
liked
additional
it.
song and then Idina doing the it just, I didn't particularly like it. I know a lot of you will disagree, but what else is new?
I enjoyed it. I really liked them there. I thought that was fun. I thought
I'm
they were
not
like
saying they
fighting
shouldn't
each
have been in
other,
the
and you got to hear
movie,
and Kristen
but
like shut
they
Ariana
could have
up.
been
and it was
professors. It
cute.
could have been really quick. I don't know.
But how like Ariana Grande, I don't think you can get much bigger. She's like the number one vocalist right now, the number one album,
She's having
the
the
number
year
one
of
movie,
her life.
the number one, like she's gonna be nominated
Do
for an
you
Academy
think
Award.
she will win the Oscar?
Well, I saw Maria. Well, so Cynthia's gonna be nominated for Best Actress, and I think Ariana will be nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And then your theory is they always give Best Supporting Actress to musical. They gave it to Jennifer Hudson.
They gave it to
gave
Jennifer Hudson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and
Susan Boyle.
no, who was the? Oh, Jesus Christ! Catherine Zeta. Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Right, we're her like 6 minute.
But they
Anne
never
Hathaway.
give Best Actress to the musical.
They did to Renee Zellweger.
That's not what she won.
Yes, it is.
For Chicago? No, she
No,
didn't.
for Judy.
That wasn't a musical.
The movie's a musical.
It was a
Shit, there's like
biopic.
7
It was a
songs.
biopic.
That's
It wasn't really a
there
musical.
There was music.
I don't.
In a movie.
No. I mean musical.
That's a
That's more of a
musical.
biopic. I mean like a Mamma Mia musical kind of
Can
thing.
you imagine Mamma Mia being nominated? Oh, by the way, on the
I
plane
rewatched
ride to
it on the
Mexico,
plane.
Nick goes, "Well, they didn't have Mamma Mia on the second plane, and I wanted to see the last
I had
20
the last
minutes."
20 minutes and I hadn't seen it in a long time, but it still slaps to this day.
I have a hard time watching that movie. Although I like,
No,
what's her
it's
name
so
that we
good.
met at the party? What's her name? She's in it. She's also
Christine Baranski.
Christine Baranski's good in it.
She's incredible.
I love her.
Nick, the guy you're looking for is Andre DeShields.
Andre DeShields. He would have been an amazing
Andre the
wizard.
Shields would have been was a wonderful wizard.
So I think they
And
will
my
both
brother
be
Joey
nominated
would
for
appreciate it.
Oscars. I don't think Cynthia will win, not because
Who's
she doesn't
gonna win?
deserve it. Well, she
You
didn't
think
win the
Maria?
Golden Globe. And
The
did
Golden
you see
Globe-
Angelina didn't even get nominated for the BAFTA?
For Maria? So do you think she's not going to be nominated for Oscars?
I think she'll get nominated for an Oscar, but it's looking like she won't win. Which is surprising because she was a front runner. But Ariana, I know everyone was upset she didn't win the Golden Globe and it went to Zoe Saldana. But I don't know. I can see them giving it to her. But someone on Twitter made a good point. Part 2 is still to come, and the voters could be waiting for that because they all know part 2 is coming.
That's when Glinda's full character arc comes into play.
And I could see that because I am very curious. And Bowen did an interview where he was like, there are big moments with her in part 2.
And I make a special appearance.
She's
in
Dr.
part
Dillerman's
2.
wife.
I'm Dr. Dillerman. Class, Miss Glinda.
I don't think it'll win Best Picture. I don't think it'll win any Oscars other than maybe like costume or hair or makeup or something like that.
Chris, what did you think of Wicked?
I loved it.
It's
I'd
a
never
great-
seen
it's a
the
great
play,
movie.
but I was like,
I
it
mean,
didn't
you've
feel
You've never
that
seen
long.
it on Broadway?
No, I haven't.
Oh, we should all go.
I would love to.
Well, we saw it on Broadway.
Okay, so Nick and I went and saw it. I've seen it a couple times on Broadway.
We talked about this in the mac and cheese video.
Nick and I. So when I took Rodrigo when he first came to New York, we had a good Glinda and a good Elphaba.
First time I saw it was a great Glinda and great Elphaba.
Then Nick
Christine Dwyer, she's a fan of the podcast. Love.
And then Nick and I decided one time we were going to go see Wicked. I don't know if they were all understudies. I don't know if they were like the 8 a.m. shift at the Waffle House. But
Well,
I mean,
this
they
I
came
did
in-
learn that this this Elphaba that we saw, because it was sort of after COVID, she had been doing it for like 2 or so years at that point.
So she's tired. But also,
I'm gonna say that was the reason.
she's saying one note in The Wizard and I, and Nick and I instinctively grabbed each other and squeezed. I was
But
like,
it wasn't even just the singing. She was missing basic cues. A spotlight would hit and she'd be in the dark. Or like the fan would go up in No Good Deed and she wasn't even on the fan for the cape to blow. It was stuff like, what's happening? You've been doing this role for 2 years now, it says. What's happening? It was just, and nothing is worse than a bad Elphaba
yeah.
because the show is Elphaba and Glinda, but
It's Elphaba.
It's Elphaba, and if you have a bad one, ooh, baby.
When does part 2 come out? And do we have Ariana Grande?
Part
said
2
something-
comes out exactly the same time Thanksgiving of this year now.
So, and Ariana Grande said something really funny in one of the interviews recently because those interviews are now infamous. I mean, they're just always holding on to each other and crying. And stuff.
It's like us.
And it's like us. And so Ariana Grande got...
Hold it. No, hold it. I'm Elphaba. No, you got to hold my finger like her. What? Do you not know the meme?
I don't know. No.
What?
Which meme?
Do you? I think so. They're holding space for defying gravity, and she
Oh.
puts her finger out and she holds it like this.
Yeah.
We're holding space for I Never Liked You.
So at one point, this recent interview, they were like, this guy was asking Ariana Grande, he's like, so your interviews, and she goes, they're insufferable.
Oh, with Paul Mescal.
Yeah. Really? She said that she goes, they're insufferable. And he was like, what? She goes, they're insufferable. We are insufferable. I was like,
They are a
Ariana
bit
knows how to
much.
like play the game. She's so... I really, really love Ariana Grande.
But it also got to the point, similar with Lady Gaga when she did press for House of Gucci, where like it was just getting so outlandish, but then press blows up about their press being outlandish that I almost feel like they then need to keep going because that's what's bringing it more attention.
Okay, you are going to be Selma Hayek, and I will be Lady Gaga. Okay, so just look at this camera, okay? And I said, I wrote myself a dissertation, and I said, I don't need you anymore. I don't know who you are, and I just decided that I was going to live this character. And when I got to the grave, I said, what have I done?
All in all, it was a great movie. I don't
A
think
plus
it'll
to
win
Wicked.
Oscars this go around. I
But the
think
next
part
one they will?
2 could, depending on what the competition is. But I do think part 2 is more likely to win awards than this one.
Now, you said originally that you didn't think it should be 2 parts.
I did originally say that.
And
I'm still on the fence about it because
I like it as 2 parts.
part of me still wants it as just one long movie. But I will say I really liked it as one part. And it ending in Defying Gravity, both times I saw it, full body chills with her Defying Gravity. When the lights all explode.
Oh,
and
it's
everything.
amazing. Yeah.
It truly full body chills, and it's a great way to end a movie. But because I am familiar with the story and I know it really well, I was selfishly like, oh, I do still wish that it was just one movie.
No, I like that it's 2
but
parts.
I get it, and
I'm
it
not in a
didn't
rush.
feel too long. Some people were like, oh, it dragged a little. I really liked it, and the scene of Ozda's ballroom with the tear and everything.
Oh, I cried. I did cry.
so
Did you
good.
cry? Have you ever cried at a movie?
What did I say on the way to Mexico? I cried at Elemental.
Elemental. The bombed Pixar movie? About the
Bombed. It was good.
But I'm not saying it wasn't good. It bombed. It was like a turning point for Pixar.
It
and how
made me
bad it
well
was.
up, and
Which
that was
part?
I don't know.
When they turned into steam?
Maybe, yeah.
You know what? One time, a good
I wish you would turn into steam.
This is what there was a movie called Good Dinosaur. It might have been Pixar or Disney or both. Pixar maybe. It was like one of the worst Pixar movies ever. I saw it on a plane years ago, weeping.
But you cry easily. I don't remember the last time I cried. Thank you for watching and listening to another episode of our podcast.
And you can come see me on tour, MatteoLaneComedy.com. You can see me on tour. I'm going to be in New York City. I'll be
Okay, they know to look up the
and my
dates.
book, MatteoLaneComedy.com.
Please subscribe to our Patreon. Please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And until next time.